the military to mount a major operation to seize Gaza City. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 846 points. News and analysis at townhall.com.
Everybody is keeping an eye on the Fed and how an interest rate cut might affect gold prices. Gold has been hovering at around $3,400 an ounce for the last 2 months and is poised for dramatic growth with the next interest rate cut. When rates go down, returns on bonds follow, and that's why gold continues to be the safe haven asset of choice for smart investors. Are you protected? Don't wait until it's too late to profit from the back and forth from the Fed on interest rates. Right now, if you have a qualified IRA or 401k, you could receive up to $10,000 in free gold and silver when you open your retirement account with Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000 now or visit AdvantageGold.com and get your free gold IRA guide and find out how much bonus gold you qualify for. Call 800-900-8000 to qualify for your free $10,000 precious metals bonus when you open your qualified gold IRA with Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000 now. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial and tax professionals before making investment decisions. Call 800-900-8000.
The jockey who rode horse racing's most iconic stallion to fame has died.
Hall of Fame jockey Ron Turcotte, who rode Secretariat to the Triple Crown in 1973, has died. He was 84. Turcotte's family said that the Canada-born jockey died of natural causes at his home in Drummond, New Brunswick on Friday. Turcotte won the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and Belmont Stakes twice each from 1965 to 1973 before his riding career ended when he fell off a horse and suffered injuries that made him paraplegic. Secretariat's record time in the Belmont still stands 52 years later. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
In baseball, Hall of Fame third baseman Adrian Beltre now has a statue in Arlington to go with his bust in Cooperstown. The Texas Rangers have unveiled a life-size bronze statue of Beltre. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornbluth.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome in to the High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. This is the opening show of the season, known as Week 0 here in the state of South Carolina. And there are a lot of games being played tonight. A lot of games, however, postponed in the Charleston area because of heavy rain and flooding. Still, we do have a lot of games being played elsewhere around the state. We're going to update you on all the scores as they come in. We'll update you on some games in progress as well. We'll be getting reports from folks around the state and also catching up with some of the winning coaches tonight as the high school football season for the public schools in South Carolina gets underway. Of course, the Skeeza schools began their season last Friday night. Let's welcome in, because he is not at a game tonight with so many games rained out in Charleston. David Shelton is able to join us from the kickoff of the kickoff show of this season here on the High School Scoreboard. David Shelton, High School Sports Report, and the Charleston Post and Courier. And he's been with us, 30, 40 years, who counts after all these years. David, great to have you back with us for another season of high school football here in South Carolina. What are you expecting this year across the state?
Well, one thing, it's good to be back. Didn't think I would be doing the show anymore, but I'm excited about the season. I think some really good teams. Some of them are struggling a little bit tonight, but I think it's going to be a really good year for high school football. I think there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks, put up some big numbers, good receiving class. I mean, it's going to be, honestly, it's going to be a lot of the same, the same old. The teams that we expect to be playing in December are going to be there again. But I think during the course of the season, there'll be some really good games.
Well, first and foremost, too, of course, glad that you are back, glad that you're feeling better. For those who maybe weren't with us all the way through last year or aren't familiar, David had some health issues that he was dealing with last year, and thank goodness is up and about and healthy and able to do his thing, which, of course, is cover high school sports, in particular high school football, and join us every Friday night with the best analysis of high school football here in South Carolina. So, David, let's go ahead and get into some final scores. We can talk about these games. I'll update some games in progress as well. We'll begin in the upstate, where Hammond has defeated Christ Church 17-0, and Wren defeated Palmetto 42-0. American Leadership out of Lexington gets their first varsity win in program history, defeating Thornwell out of Clinton 43-6. Whitmire over Branchville 26-6. We move to David. By the way, over the years I've always fought within myself about where to put certain schools in terms of the scoreboard regions. Like I have Upstate and Midlands and PD Grand Strand and Low Country. I always felt like I put some in regions that really didn't fit. So I've created more regions. Regions. Yeah. This is the Football City 77 corridor region. Huh?
Oh, boy.
That would be, of course. Yeah, well, that would be the Rock Hill area and York County and all up in there. That's not really upstate, and it's not really Midlands. So it's Football City 77 corridor. And one score in right now, a final, and you can talk about this one. Huff of North Carolina beats South Point 14-10. That's two really good teams playing in a season opener. Is this one of the games that they played over in Charlotte tonight?
Yeah, they played in the Panther Stadium. Yeah,
your thoughts on this one?
I don't know much about Huff other than that they're a pretty good program. They normally are very, very competitive. South Point is one of the better teams in the state. I think they have some things they got to work out, but I would not judge what kind of team they have based on this game because it's a very tough opener.
Well, that Huff team has one of the best defensive backs in the country in Samari Matthews, who committed to Texas, I think it was. So I know that they have talented players, but, South Point has very talented players as well. And obviously a very close ball game and tough loss for them to open the season. But that's an out-of-state game, and I'm sure in-state they're going to take care of their business once they get back into South Carolina teams next week. Another final from the upstate, David. Dorman opens up with a big win over Greenville High, 35-0. At all surprised about that, or if not, surprised at the margin of victory?
Maybe the margin of victory. I mean, Greenville was down last year. Scoot Watson moved over from J.L. Mann over to Greenville as the head coach. It's going to take him a little time. I mean, they were really devastated by last season and then some transfer kids. But Dorman is I don't want to say they're back, but they are getting real close to being back. I think Dorman's going to be a pretty serious contender this year.
Is that because the coaching staff's a little more settled in after the turnover, and just maybe better players have come into their program?
Well, I definitely think the coaching staff is settled in now. I think, anytime you have a guy like Dave Gutshaw that's been there for, forever, winning the way he won, I think there is going to be an adjustment period. But they do have some good players. I'm not able to keep up with the transfer portal. Every time I think I got to figure it out, there's more kids transferring. But they've got some good players, and they're going to be tough offensively.
Speaking of another matchup for an in-state team with a team over in the Charlotte area, and we're just getting this in as a final. Independence of Charlotte beats Gaffney tonight 27-21. Independence over Gaffney 27-21. What about this Gaffney team? I know it stings for them to lose this one, but Independence, I don't know if they're still the program they were under Knott's many years ago, but they still have a great reputation over there.
Yeah, they took a dip after Knott's left, but they're back. I think Gaffney was probably I thought they were going to win this game. Now we're 0-2 against North Carolina. Yeah, that makes me sick. But Gaffney's going to win their share. They Little John has taken over as the coach. They got some transfers in. It's going to take them some time, but again, you got to credit them. They're opening against a really good out-of-state team, so you're not necessarily going to win these games, but you can definitely get something out of it.
That's for sure. It's good competition. It's a good way to kind of measure yourself right off the bat and have an idea about what you have to work on and where you might go here moving forward. So a tough loss, and I'm like you. I hate to see our teams losing to teams from across the border there, but those are two good teams. And, nothing to be ashamed of, embarrassed about. You just have to look at your mistakes and go from there. Okay, so South Point falls to Huff. Gaffney falls to Independence. Let's see. Also in that Football City 77 corridor, Rock Hill has beaten River Bluff 31-18. And Central of Pageland shuts out Louisville 12-0. Let's go to the Midlands. Final scores. AC Flora 30, Westwood 19, May River 37, Airport nothing. Lexington 23, Gilbert 7, Pelion 35, Williston Elko nothing. Swansea 49, Mid Carolina 7, Camden 20, White Knoll 7. Is that the game they started last night and finished up tonight?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Camden gets the win over White Knoll, 20-7. Yeah, the weather was a problem for them last night. All right, let's see. To the PD Grand Strand, David, we've got, how about Mountain View? Mountain View went across the state to play Atlantic Collegiate and won that one handily, 35-0. Mountain View, their terrific running back, graduated early, went to North Carolina. They still got really good players. They still loaded up.
Yeah, obviously not having him is a big deal, but I think what they established last year with their coaching staff, with their identity, they had more than McGill, but he was a huge part. Now it's not a huge win. They should have beaten this team. We'll see where they are, in October, but yeah, they're gonna be very competitive. They're well coached.
Let's go back to the upstate. Woodruff has beaten Clinton tonight, 21-13. That was one of the showcase games of the night here in Week 0. Two teams with aspirations to win state championships. Of course, Clinton won the state championship last year, and Woodruff made as I recall, a pretty deep run in the playoffs. So, heck of a win for the Wolverines, 21-13. Got to like both of these teams again this season.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely like this Woodruff team. I think, Garrett Mitchell was reporting on them last year and kept saying, Their underclassmen were really good, and now we're finding out they're really good because, they're getting recruited and they're putting up numbers and things like that. So when I voted in the 3A poll, I voted them third. I think they're ranked fourth, but I put them third because I think this will be a really good Woodruff team.
Mm-hmm. A good win for them tonight over Clinton. Not only that, I mean, this is two of the all-time great rivals in South Carolina. This rivalry goes back a century. And, I mean, think of the coaches over the years who have battled one another on the respective sidelines of that rivalry.
Yeah, it's one of the top, I would say, one of the top 5 rivalries in all of South Carolina high school football, without a doubt.
Okay, let's see. We go to the PD Grand Strand. Oh, we mentioned Mountain View and Atlantic Collegiate. Heathwood Hall shuts out Hannah Pamplico 14-0. Okay, David, the warning shot has been fired across the state of South Carolina. Tonight, Latta goes interstate on East Columbus of North Carolina, 74-10. Shots fired.
North Carolina. leave it to Latta to take care of business for her.
74-10. Now, I'm getting some of these scores off of ScoreStream, so don't hold me to it. But I'm going to take them at their word. 74-10. Lakeview beat Marion 26-13. Sherrod 48, McBee 7. Okay, David. West Florence, South Florence, big rivalry game. Hate that they have to play this game to open the season. I hate bitter rivalry games to open a season. But I guess because of the separation, different classes, they had to do it. South Florence wins it big over West Florence, 37-8. What about your thoughts on that one?
And not a surprise. Maybe the margin is a little more than I thought, but I think South Florence is the better football team right now. I think Chad Wilkes is going to need a little time at West Florence. I thought maybe they'd score a couple times, but I didn't think they would beat South Florence. And South Florence is, they're good. They're going to be right there in the mix again.
Do they have another Sellers in there somewhere? Have they run out of Sellers?
I think they have run out of Sellers, but for some reason I'm thinking that they have another. I don't think he's related. I might be thinking of somebody else, but I know they have the Messiah at quarterback, and when you have the Messiah on your team, you got a chance to win.
You're going to be in good shape. Okay, let's see here. Ware Shoals has beaten Blacksburg tonight, 44-6. I drove through Ware Shoals last night on my way back from Erskine. I mean, through the town. I'd never been through the town of Ware Shoals before. Apparently, I got on a South Carolina. Yeah. Well, it takes a little longer when you make a wrong turn and you have to circle around and come back around. But I got a good look at Ware Shoals last night, and they beat Blacksburg tonight 44-6. And let's see, what else do we have here? PD Grand Strand, go back there. No, I think we covered all that. Let's go to Low Country. Not much in the Low Country, David, because of the weather. Now, I've put Barnwell in the Low Country. I looked it up. I did a Google. It tells me Barnwell's considered a Low Country town. So they beat Blackville Hilda 22-6. Barnwell over Blackville Hilda 22-6. Do you agree with putting Barnwell in the Low Country?
Just the fact that you Google it is stunning to me. I probably see them more. Well, really, that whole area over there, I don't think they're Midlands or Low Country. You need to come up with an I-20 team or whatever, because you got Aiken, South Aiken, North Augusta, Barnwell, Blackville, Williston. I guess they would have to be Low Country because, lower state. But Low Country, I kind of draw the line about Orangeburg, really.
Yeah. Would you put them in the? I have another region, SCRA, for the North Augusta Aiken area and those teams. Would you put Barnwell in there in the SCRA?
That's where I would put them before I put them in the Low Country. Yeah, that's where I'd put them.
Okay.
That's just me. I'm not.
No.
People might disagree, but when I think of Low Country, I think from about Walterboro, Hampton County, maybe, Orangeburg, Wilkinson down, or east. I think is Low Country. Not even really Orangeburg. Orangeburg's more Midlands, but I don't know why we're having this conversation. But
you're helping to settle my internal struggle with this. Orangeburg is also considered a low country city, according to Google here in South Carolina, so I may have to move them back to the Midlands. You got to use some common sense. Okay, back in a moment.
Maybe your credit's seen better days, or maybe it's just never been quite where you want it to be. At Founders Federal Credit Union, we get it. Life happens. Things don't always go according to plan. But that doesn't mean your goals are out of reach. Whether it's a car to get to work or a little extra breathing room in your budget, we offer personal and auto loans to help you move forward. With flexible terms and a team that treats you like a person, not a number. We take the time to understand because you don't need a perfect credit score to start your next chapter. Visit a local Founders office or foundersfcu.com to learn more. Founders, helping you do life on your terms, helping you build a brighter financial future. All it takes is one visit to foundersfcu.com to get you started. Relax, you've got this with Founders. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with the family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
Okay, David, I've moved Orangeburg, Wilkinson back into the Midlands. It just makes sense. Sometimes you just got to rely on your own knowledge, right? Google can't help you with everything.
That's right.
You just have to know. If you know, you know. And we know where Orangeburg is. But it does say it's a low country town. Skeeza, let's give you these Skeeza finals. St. Andrews 24, Hilton Head Prep nothing. The Pack Panthers 50. Holy Spirit Prep of Georgia, 21. Jefferson Davis, 52. Cross, 6. Wilson Hall, 42. Orangeburg Prep, 14. Porter Goud, 48. First Baptist, nothing. Cary Christian of North Carolina, 50. Richard Wynn, 16. PD Academy, 14. Trinity Collegiate, 12. Give you more scores in just a little bit. Let's get to some of our reporters who are starting to trickle in as they finish up their games and they finish up their work, and they join us here on the high school scoreboard. We're very, very appreciative. The first report of the year, how about that? Everybody's got to be number one. If you're not first, you're last. Matt Abbey with the story on Newberry and Union tonight. Union County, Newberry and Union County. Matt, welcome into the scoreboard. How are you?
Doing wonderful, Phil. Thank you for letting me have a little part in your show here and kind of give you a little bit of a heads up of what went down between two good football teams tonight.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Newberry came into Union County tonight, Union County Stadium tonight, and with being the number 8 team in their classification in 2A, and right off the bat, they showed exactly why they are that. Final score of the game, go ahead and jump ahead a little bit, was 62-14 in favor of Newberry. Newberry jumped out to an early lead, and they kept it the whole entire game. At the end of the first quarter, score was 20-6 in favor of Newberry with 2 touchdowns, and then Union attempted a fake field goal, or a fake punt rather, and they blocked it, and the ball was recovered in the end zone for another Newberry touchdown. Going into the second quarter, it just kept being more Newberry. A 34-yard touchdown pass followed by a 52-yard touchdown run. Then they had a punt return that was actually called back by a penalty, but 2 plays later, a 34-yard touchdown run. I believe Newberry is going to be one of these teams that people are going to be talking about. I hate to put the cart before the horse, like the old saying goes, but I believe Newberry is going to be one of these teams that people are going to be talking about well into the playoffs. Cedric Jeter there is a Union County man. He actually played at Union High School his 3rd or 4th year, I believe, there as the head coach at Newberry, and he has got that program firing on all cylinders, and they are a great, great football team, well over 500 yards of total offense. And only had 5 penalties the whole entire game. They were 5 penalties, penalized for 55 yards just for 5 penalties. But I mean, they were amazing to watch tonight.
That might be the most impressive thing. Well, the whole thing's impressive, but I mean, first game, you go out, you play that cleanly, that coaching staff's going to like that.
Exactly, and not to take anything away from Union County, they're there with their second-year head coach and Quentin Isom. A lot of youth there on that particular football team. A lot of, I think, 3 of their starting offensive linemen are either freshmen or sophomores. First-year quarterback in Quay Brannon, the first time he's ever taken snaps. They do have a lot more strength than they did last year. Got a little bit more speed, but they have a lot of youth, a lot of growing to do. They played well, but it got to a point to where Newberry was just too much for them, and Newberry finished out the game 62-14. The final here from Union County Stadium against Newberry tonight.
Fantastic. Matt, we appreciate it very much. You can remember this moment the rest of the year. You, sir, are number 1.
Hey, somebody's got to be number 1, and I'm glad it was me.
Okay. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week, and we'll be back with more of the High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
Here's today's STEM tip. Don't throw out that old plastic bottle. Repurpose it by turning it into an awesome terrarium. Just fill it with sand, pebbles, soil, and your favorite plant. It'll grow sealed right in its own ecosystem. Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Months after the head of the Fed hinted that cuts to interest rates might be on the way, the S&P 500 leaped 1.5% Friday. The Dow soared 846 points. This is SRN News.
Are you 40 years old in great health and want life insurance coverage with no exam and instant coverage options? Big Lou can do that. Are you 50 to 60 with health issues and still want life insurance coverage with no exam needed? Big Lou can do that. Are you on meds for anxiety, sleep apnea, diabetes, or other health glitches and just want the best rate possible without a lot of hassles? Big Lou can do that. To find the most affordable term life coverage options for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou does term life insurance better than anyone else on the radio, and he may be able to get you $1 million to $4 million of term life coverage with no exam. For the best term life insurance deals in America, call Big Lou at 800-230.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
With NFL Plus, keep the NFL in reach. Stream live out-of-market preseason games, live local and primetime games on mobile during the regular and postseason, and NFL Network, including 7 exclusive live games. With NFL Plus Premium, watch every touchdown every Sunday afternoon during the regular season on NFL Red Zone. And for a limited time, save 20% on an annual NFL Plus Premium subscription. Offer ends September 15th. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com/radio. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks finished sharply higher, with the Dow notching its first record close of the year as Fed Chair Jerome Powell's speech at the central bank's Jackson Hole Symposium is fueling rate cut hopes.
With policy in restrictive territory, the baseline outlook and the shifting balance of risks may warrant adjusting our policy stance.
Powell hinted that a September interest rate cut might happen, but stopped short of committing. The rebound in stocks follows declines in the tech sector this past week on concerns about AI-driven tech gains and steep valuations for the group. The Dow up 846 points, the Nasdaq up 396, S&P 500 up 97. And the U.S. government is now the largest single investor in Intel. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said on social media that the government now owns 10% of the chip maker. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
It's time to take the quiz.
It's 5 questions in less than 5 minutes. We asked people on the streets of New York City to play along. Let's see how you do.
Including the pre-Super Bowl era, what NFL franchise has won the most NFL championships?
I'm going to say the Cowboys.
Good guess. I would say the Packers.
Take the quiz every day at thequiz.fox. Then come back here to see how you did.
And thank you for taking the quiz.
Boom, boom, boom. Welcome back, everybody. It is the High School Football Scoreboard of South Carolina, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. We're so glad to have high school football back with us. So glad to have the High School Scoreboard back with us. So glad you're with us. So glad David Shelton is with us. So glad that the plumber, Josh Cohen, is with us back at our studios in Columbia. By the way, if you've been to a ball game and you can remember correctly the score, feel free to text us that score, that result. Phone number 803-900-4847, 803-900-4847. If you have some details on the game, feel free to share that with us as well. So text us the final score, if you can do it accurately, at 803-900-4847. Yeah, what you got?
First of all, don't use ScoreStream. Lida did win, but it was 42-7, not 70-something or whatever you said. And
I said 74. I know. I hesitate using ScoreStream, but it is there. Go ahead.
Dillon lost to Scotland County 36-33. Scotland County recovered an onside kick and scored with 10 seconds left. Dillon had a 2-touchdown lead at the half, but Scotland County rallied to beat Dillon. And the game I was watching, it's not quite over. I think it's a minute left. Irmo leads Oceanside Collegiate 35-28.
So you said Irmo leads. Give me that one more time.
35-28.
Okay, so we had that as a final earlier. So
it could be a final. That the last it says 1 minute 3 seconds, but it could be a final. Maybe they recovered the onside kick and kneeled it out.
Actually,
I watched that game.
Actually, I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong on that. We did not have that as a final yet. So okay, that's cool. That's all good. Let me go back for a moment. Give me that ladder final again. You said it was 42 to what?
7.
And I am seeing a final now from Thomas Grant, Irmo 35, Oceanside 28.
Yep, I'm looking at it too.
Yep, Irmo 35. So we'll come back to that in just a moment. Irmo 35, Oceanside Collegiate 28. Give me that Dillon and Scotland County final once again.
36-33.
36-33. And what happened at the end?
Scotland County rallied, and then they scored, got an onside kick, and scored with 10 seconds left to win the game. The dreaded onside kick.
And score with 10 seconds left. When's the last time Dillon lost a season opener?
I don't know, but I think Scotland County's pretty good. But I would, if you'd have told me Dillon's got a 2-touchdown lead at halftime, I would have bet the farm that they were going to win. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's go to that Irmo and Oceanside Collegiate game. Irmo wins it 35-28. So that's a great road win for them. Can't imagine the conditions they were playing in over at the Citadel. I think they have artificial surface there at Johnson Haygood, don't they?
Yeah, they have turf. I actually watched the game on YouTube, and it was raining pretty much the whole game. You could tell it was raining, and there were some drop passes and there were some fumbles, but it was a good game. Irmo has got some players, and Oceanside, I think their quarterback threw a couple of picks, but he also threw like 3 or 4 touchdown passes. So it was a good game. It was Irmo dictated the game from the second quarter on, but Oceanside had a shot to tie it there late.
And so you'd have to say that 35 points for Irmo, considering the offense that they lost from last season's team, quarterback, receiver, and others. Obviously, I think you said this on Sports Talk. They're a program, not just a one-year flash. They've got people ready to step up and fill those holes that were created by graduation.
Yeah, their quarterback Dobson, I think it's a transfer from somewhere. Everybody is nowadays, but he started slowly, but he got into a rhythm. They were able to run the football. Very physical running game. Their defensive front is really good. They were able to pressure Moravian into a couple of tough throws. But yeah, I think, they play Burns next week. Burns won tonight and beat T.L. Hanna, but Burns Irmo will be a pretty good show.
All right, let's check out some other finals here in the upstate. It was Burns over T.L. Hanna, 30-10. That we talked about that earlier. Did we talk about that earlier? Burns beating Hanna 30-10. Did you talk about that?
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Greenwood Christian 46, Calhoun Falls 20, Daniel 43, Chapman nothing. Daniel's going to play with probably the old chip on the shoulder this season with what happened in the offseason. East Side big over South Side 51-6. Emerald has shut out 96, 28-0. Told you about Independence over Gaffney, 27-21. And Dorman blitzes Greenville 35-0. Wren 42-0 over Palmetto. Abbeville 42-0 over Southside Christian. David, how about Northwestern going into Spartanburg and beating the Vikings 39-7?
Yeah, the margin of victory is surprising. I mean, I felt like Northwestern, I said on Sports Talk, I thought they would win. But Spartanburg was a little better than they showed tonight, but I think a lot of that is how good Northwestern is. They plug in guys that can run that system, and that offense is really hard to slow down.
Okay, back to the phones to guys standing out in the fields tonight. If you're standing out in the fields tonight, you're getting wet in many parts of the state. Here in Atlanta, it poured down rain as well. Taylor Novinger, voice of Crestwood and Manning tonight. Taylor, welcome back for another season of the High School Football Scoreboard. Great to have you.
Yeah, great to be on, Phil. It was kind of relatively dry at Crestwood High School. They rolled out the new turf, new stadium. First time they actually played a football game on the campus of Crestwood High School. Crestwood just really did a lot. They ran the football kind of all over Manning's throat. Really impressed with Crestwood's O-line and D-line. This game was decided by a field goal last year. Manning lost 17-14 to Crestwood on a game-winning field goal last year, but Crestwood just brought it tonight. They got a star freshman running back by the name of Brayton Bolts. Brayton Bolts has 5 D1 offers, and he's a 9th grader. He really toted the rock well. Have Jaden Martin, really good slot receiver. He's a sophomore. He scored 3 times tonight, had 3 touchdown passes from Marique Yates, the new quarterback for the Knights, who's a 10th grader. So a lot of youth on this Crestwood High School squad. For the Manning side of things, they just really struggled moving the football all night. They have some star players. Jatavius Canty, defensive end, made some good stops, but Manning really struggled. I mean, it was ugly. It was 27-6 at halftime, and the final was 48-14. So big opening win for the Crestwood Knights.
Ain't no doubt about that. That's very impressive. Very impressive way to start the season. Taylor, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Take care. All right, Taylor Novinger, voice of Crestwood. Appreciate that report. And we stay on the phones to guys out in the fields tonight. Let's welcome in Lane Harris. Got a busy football season ahead with Myrtle Beach High and Coastal Carolina. Lane, welcome in. Great to have you with us.
Good to be aboard with you in week number 1 for high school football. Phil, you ready for this season?
I am ready. You must be listening to Chris Bergen if you're calling it week 1. He refuses it to call it week 0. He will not call it week 0.
No such thing as week 0. All those Shauna Clear guys hang their hats on that.
I hear you.
Myrtle Beach got off to a quick start. Actually got behind early in the ball game. Lake City on their second possession of the game. It was Jamari Jones got behind our secondary for a 75-yard touchdown pass from their senior quarterback and 3-year starter, Amari Hanna. And before we knew it, the PAT was no good, 6-0 Lake City. But Myrtle Beach responded with 2 touchdowns via the ground game in the rest of that first quarter. And Antonio Brown, 15-yard touchdown run with 4:10. Charlie Daniels extra point made it 7-6, and the Seahawks got ahead and would never fail. After that, it was there were 3 miscues in the Panthers punting game. This one with 1:43 to go in the first quarter, bad snap over the punter's head, gave the Seahawks 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line, and about 2 plays later, Michael Cohen, our starting running back, runs it in from 4 yards out. Daniels PAT made it 14-6. And then on the next possession, a low snap to the punter, and he goes down on the knee to catch it at the 5-yard line, and they blow him dead right there. And the Seahawks turned that in on the next play, and Antonio Brown with his second touchdown of the night, another 1-yard run. Daniels PAT made it 21-6. And then Lake City hit again Amari Hanna, their quarterback, like I said, he was a 3-year starter with a 1-yard touchdown run, 4:13 to go, made it 21-12. They did not kick an extra point, so their kicking woes are pretty evident for the Panthers out of Lake City. Seahawks took the kickoff, and it took them only about 1 minute and 3 seconds to score. Antonio Brown with his 3rd touchdown of the first half. He finished the game, and he finished basically the half with 6 carries, 46 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the night. Starting quarterback Tanner Gaddy, a senior who's taken over after 2 years of Gibson Goodrow, sitting on the bench behind him. A little shaky at the start, only 3 of 9 for 73 yards in the first half, but the second half he came alive, and completed his first 5 passes, including a 22-yard touchdown to his big wide receiver John Kelly on the first score on the first drive of the third quarter to make it 36-29 and 36-12, excuse me. And then Gaddy went 7 of 8 in the second half for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. He later threw Amari Brown a 35-yard touchdown pass to make it the final of 43-12, and then Lake City scored a late touchdown in the fourth quarter to make it 43-18 Seahawks. Not a whole lot of yards, but they did have about 230 yards passing, a couple of touchdowns from the hands of Tanner Gaddy. The wide receivers, Kelly was 3 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. Amari Brown had 2 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. The rushing attack was obviously led by Antonio Brown with those 3 touchdowns on his 6 totes. So the Seahawks only 6 penalties and did a good job of keeping the Lake City team off balance. But you have to look at the 3. There were 3 punts. There was also a negative 5-yard punt. So those 3 punt plays led directly to 3 touchdowns for the Myrtle Beach Seahawks, and they turned that into 2 quick points. But the competition will get a lot tougher as we head over to Florence next weekend to take on the West Florence Knights.
Very good. Yeah, special teams, man. Special teams mistakes will get you beat all the time, and obviously that was the case tonight with Lake City, but good to see Myrtle Beach bring that offense back and put some points on the board, and we'll see what the Seahawks can do moving forward. Lane, thanks very much. Have a great weekend.
You too, Phil. We'll see you soon.
Good talking to you. There you go. All right, so Myrtle Beach gets off on the right foot with a big win tonight. And Lane Harris, appreciate that report. We'll hit the break and we'll come back with more. Eric Sprott's going to join us from up in the Seneca area and fill us in on what's happening up there with those teams in that part of the state. We still call that the upstate, David. Haven't changed anything there. Your Daniels and your Belton Honeypaths and your Senecas and all those up there. So we'll get the lowdown from Eric coming up after the break, and more from David Shelton as well. This is the High School Football Scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union now through October 31st, and you'll be entered to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying auto loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. Loyalty Select is our highest yield savings account. Leave it there to grow or transfer it out to spend. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners. So the earlier you get your auto loan, the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more or begin your auto loan application today. Not a Founders member yet? Visit us online or stop by an office to learn more about Founders and see if you qualify for membership. We have the financial tools you'll need and the personalized service you deserve. Relax, you're with Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports
all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. High school football scoreboard. Phil Kornbluth, David Shelton, and Josh Cohen. And we welcome in Eric Sprott from the upstate, up in Seneca, keeping an eye on things up in that corner of South Carolina. Eric, welcome in. Great to have you with us tonight. What game were you paying close attention to?
Hey, Phil. Just kind of keeping an eye. Largely, we had Seneca and Powdersville, and Daniel at Chapman were our big ones. So Daniel won that one. I think I heard you say that score. That was 43-0. And then Seneca over Powdersville 56-35. So good start to those for those teams this year. But,
Seneca.
Seneca. That was a game they trailed 22-21 at halftime, so looked a little iffy, but really dominated the second half. And all-region running back from last year, who's back for his senior year, Amari Verner, he had the big night, 238 yards and 4 touchdowns. And also third-year starting quarterback Gavin Toma went for 250 and had 3 touchdowns as well. And that's kind of, it's a big start, but it's kind of in line with the thinking I had going into the year for their offense, a ton of returning starters. So they're off to a really good start for what I think is going to be a pretty good year for the Bobcats. Whole lot of guys back this year, so they have really high expectations there.
And of course, Daniel, we gave that score 43-0, but they had their little off-season issue at that camp at Presbyterian, and they were burned pretty strongly in the media and in public opinion. So I imagine all this got their attention, and they're going to be a focused football team moving throughout this season.
I think that's right. I think I heard you say, they're going to be playing with a chip on the shoulder this season. I think that's, 100% true, and I think they've kind of rallied around each other, in the face of all that, a very ugly situation, but they were really eager to get at it tonight. And, it was funny. Tonight was the first time that Chris Stone was able to actually coach his guys, in a game, any sort of game type situation, because he was, on leave during the investigation for their first scrimmage against Hillcrest. And then they had a couple rainouts last week. So, he didn't even get a dress rehearsal with those guys. So it was a good one for them to go over and maybe take out a little frustration with that 43-0 win.
Absolutely. Impressive. I tell you, they just plug them in. Anything else up your area that you want to mention?
Yeah, we had 2 more in the coverage area tonight. Landrum came over to Walhalla, walked away with a 20-13 win, and West Oak went on the road. They got a 28-0 win over the Greenville Hurricanes, kind of a homeschool collection. They were playing out in Travelers Rest tonight, but that was it from our area tonight.
All right, let me get that West Oak score again. 28-0.
That's right.
28-0 over the Greenville Travelers. All
Greenville
right.
Hurricanes.
I'm sorry, Greenville Hurricanes in Travelers Rest.
Travelers Rest.
Yeah,
there we go.
Too many words in my head there. Okay, Eric, up at the Seneca Journal, we appreciate you very much. Great weekend to you. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Phil. Take care.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Quick rundown of scores from Football City, I-77 corridor. You like that one, don't you, David?
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm going to get T-shirts made.
Indian Land beat York 36-6. Fort Mill over Ballantine Ridge, 52-6. Is that Ballantine Ridge? Is that in North Carolina?
I have no idea. I had never heard of them.
Yeah. I mean, Ballantine is an area in Charlotte, so I'm thinking that must be a North Carolina school.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Catawba Ridge beat Chapin 30-0. Blythewood over Nation Ford, 34-27. Chester 16, Lancaster 14, North Central 26, Great Falls nothing. Chambers of North Carolina beat Clover 35-34. See if there's anything else up here that we have not mentioned. Go ahead.
Spring Valley rallied from a 19-point deficit, kicked a field goal in overtime, and beat Richland Northeast 22-19, and that snapped a 24-game losing streak for the Vikings.
Wow. How long was that losing streak?
24 games.
24 games.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they had that long of a losing streak.
That is one of those stories that, 15, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if you would have said, hey, at one point Spring Valley is going to lose 24 games in a row, you just would have bet that wasn't going to happen. It's like saying Somerville is going to have Spring Valley used to be the Cat's Meow in Columbia. Them and Irmo, and Irmo's back. Spring Valley's got a new coach. They're still not going to win a lot of games, but to beat their rival, Richland Northeast, on a game-ending field goal in overtime is really cool. Something they will never forget.
Yep. Very quickly, let's go to Kevin Selman, voice of T.L. Hanna. They took it on the chin tonight against Burns over at the new facility at Burns. Kevin, welcome in. Tough night for your guys.
Yeah, Phil, it was a tough night. It's a beautiful night in Duncan, South Carolina, as they open their new stadium, Nixon Field, a beautiful facility. It looked to be packed out. I think they said about 10,000 was there tonight. Just an overall beautiful night for football, but not so beautiful in the field for the Yellow Jackets.
How did Burns get most of their points? Through the air, on the ground, and how did they shut down that running game?
Yeah, they shut down the running game. Tonight, the Jackets rushed the ball, 31 times for only 112 yards, which you know how Hannah runs the football. They were able to shut down that rushing attack. We were 3 of 10 in the air for 53 yards. We had one interception. Gavin Megan, the senior quarterback for the Jackets, did rush for a touchdown and threw for a 2-point conversion.
All right, Kevin, hang on. Do me a favor, bud. Hang on. We got to run to this hard break at the top of the hour. If you'll hang on, we'll come right back to you here on the scoreboard.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Ron Taylor. President Trump has threatened to remove the mayor of Washington, D.C. White House correspondent Greg Clugston has the story.
After ordering a federal takeover of the D.C. police force, the president is boasting about a safer nation's capital, and he has a warning for Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser.
It was unsafe, it was horrible, and Mayor Bowser better get her act straight or she won't be mayor very long, because we'll take it over with the federal government, run it like it's supposed to be run.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon has ordered National Guard troops patrolling the streets of D.C. to start carrying firearms. Greg Clugston, the White House.
The FBI has searched the home of former National Security Advisor John Bolton as part of an investigation into classified records. When asked about the search of his ex-National Security Advisor's home, the president says he knows how it feels to have your home raided.
But if you believe the news, which I do, I guess his house was raided today, but my house was raided also, called Mar-a-Lago. They went through everything they could, including my young son's room and my wife's area. They went through her drawers, as the expression goes.
Bolton served during the president's first term, but has been a fierce critic of recent years. A tour bus returning to New York from Niagara Falls with 52 people aboard crashed and rolled Friday on an interstate highway, killing and injuring multiple passengers. The bus apparently lost control on I-90 near Pembroke, about 25 miles east of Buffalo. People on the inside were ejected. Wall Street rallying to its best day in months after the head of the Federal Reserve hinted that cuts to interest rates may be on the way. The S&P 500 leaped 1.5% Friday for its first gain in 6 days and finished just shy of its all-time high last week. The Dow soared 846 points, and the Nasdaq Composite jumped 1.9% today. News and analysis at townhall.com.
Are you 40 years old in great health and want life insurance coverage with no exam and instant coverage options? Big Lou can do that. Are you 50 to 60 with health issues and still want life insurance coverage with no exam needed? Big Lou can do that. Are you on meds for anxiety, sleep apnea, diabetes, or other health glitches and just want the best rate possible without a lot of hassles? Big Lou can do that. To find the most affordable term life coverage options for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou does term life insurance better than anyone else on the radio, and he may be able to get you $1 million to $4 million of term life coverage with no exam. For the best term life insurance deals in America, call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777. Remember, Big Lou is like you. Once a week, he can do that too. Call 800-230-2777 or visit biglou.com.
If he hadn't been a litterbug, a cryptocurrency fugitive might not have been arrested today in South Korea's capital. BBC correspondent Livia Noon explains.
Officers in Seoul approached the man after they noticed him throwing a cigarette butt. The man in his 60s begged them to let him go, offering to pay money for his release and then trying to escape. At this point, the police got suspicious, and upon questioning, they discovered the man was wanted on 10 charges, including fraud and assault. Investigators say he defrauded over $13 million from more than 1,000 people over a 2-year period before disappearing into hiding in 2020.
Texas Democrats are preparing their final show of resistance against a mid-decade redraw of the state's congressional map. Democratic State Senator Carol Alvarado said on social media she plans to speak well into Friday evening to block the map. Israel issues a...
Want to hear my success story? I'm Fran Halloran, the money coach. I'm celebrating a decade of partnering with The Point. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. I've used The Point to significantly grow my small business. It started with a meeting with Kevin Cohen. Do you own a small business? Are you on a limited budget? No problem. Reach out to Kev at 563-8558. Get a customized plan and start your journey to business growth with The Point today. Success is one call away. Take the leap.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107. The Point.
The Point. The Point.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornblut.
We welcome you back into the High School Football Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network for Week 0. It is what it is. Phil Kornblut, David Shelton, and the plumber, Josh Cohen, back at our Columbia studios. And we're going to get more reports out here in just a moment. Let's go back to Kevin Selman, the voice of T.L. Hanna. We squeezed him there at the end of the first hour. Didn't mean to squeeze you like that, big guy. You're not an easy guy to squeeze. So
that's right.
You were going to tell us about the you mentioned the lack of a running game for T.L. Hanna, which is very unusual. Were they just handled up front by that Burns defense?
Burns controlled the line of scrimmage tonight. That was the difference in the game. Usually Hanna rushes the ball for 400 yards a game, but tonight only 112 yards rushing on 31 carries. The senior quarterback, Gavin Megan, did have a little bit of success through the air, 3 of 10 for 53 yards, did have an interception. He rushed for a touchdown and did throw for 1 2-point conversion. The senior tight end, Walker Kelly, who's committed to Wofford. Jalen Watson was the star of the show tonight for the Yellow Jackets. He rushed the ball 3 times for 71 yards. Kind of makes me think he should have got it more. On defense, he had 5.5 tackles with a tackle for loss. And probably the best thing he did all night long, 3 punts for 122 total yards, average 41 yards a punt for the Jackets tonight.
Okay, so there'll be a lot of head scratching and hard work this week in practice, I'm sure. What's coming up next?
That's right. So the Yellow Jackets lost their season opener tonight for the first time since 2016. They lost a close one at Gaffney that year. So it's been a while since they've started the season with a loss. Next week they have an open date before the Electric City Showdown in technically week 2. We'll go to Westside in 2 weeks.
And before I let you go, your impression of Burns, how'd they look to you?
Well, they looked really good tonight. I mean, it was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, so it was a real tight game. Hannah actually had the first scoring opportunity, but missed a field goal. And then Burns kind of capitalized on a couple of turnovers, and it was 14-0 with about 30 seconds remaining in the first half. And Burns had the ball third and long on their own 10-yard line and was really just trying to run the clock out. And they busted a fullback up the middle, and he got outside and he ran for 90 yards, and that kind of put the icing on the cake for them. And the third quarter, the Jackets fought back and made it 20-10. And then Burns scored 10 in the fourth to extend that lead back to 20. So there were some bright spots for Hannah, some things to improve on, obviously. But all in all, it was a tough night. But I think we got better things in our future for sure.
Oh yeah, don't give up on them after one game. This team's won too much.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, Phil, before I let you go, as you know, I've been busy with high school football all night. I have no idea how the Red Sox-Yankees went. Could you fill me in on that?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that hurricane that went up, that game got rained out.
Okay.
It was rained out. That game was rained out.
Okay.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah,
they get rained out a lot when they play.
When I get home.
Hey, Kevin, I'll tell you how they performed today. This is how the Yankees performed.
Yeah.
If you couldn't hear very well, that was the sound of a toilet flush.
Okay.
All right.
So I guess
you know as well as I do. You know as well as I do. The Red Sox won 1-0. Okay, you're happy now. It make you happy?
And one more thing, as I'm exiting, can you tell me how the standings look right now?
Well, if you must know, we're both going to make the playoffs, but you did move back ahead of us after we had moved ahead of you. Okay.
Okay. Well, I appreciate all that, Phil. And listen, I look forward to seeing you here in a few weeks at the Anderson Touchdown Club in a few weeks.
Yes, sir. I'll see you next week at the Clemson game.
Oh, that's right. Absolutely. We'll see you there next Saturday night. So, look forward to that.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you next. Well, no, you're off next week, so we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
We're off next Friday, but we'll talk to you. I'll see you before I talk to you again.
You got it. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you,
see you now.
Kevin, the Red Sox fan. Had to bring that up. Let's check in on David. Make sure he hasn't fallen over by the wayside. You have any thoughts on any of these scores that we've run across here in the last few minutes?
Not really. I know we already talked about Burns Hannah. There's no surprise. We haven't talked about this game, but Rock Hill put it on River Bluff tonight. And, Rock Hill, their coach, Coach Bulwer, remember he left Rudolph Elgin in May to take the job at Rock Hill, which is his alma mater. Mm-hmm. And they've been a 500 team or a little worse. And River Bluff was 10-3, and Perry Parks, is back in the high school ranks, and he's at River Bluff. I did not see this one coming. Rock Hill, that's a pretty darn good win for them to open the season.
Yeah, I agree. I would have to say so far, to me, the big surprise was not that Burns beat Hannah, but that they beat them by 20, and they pretty much stuffed their running game. That's a surprise to me.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Hannah's got a lot of holes to fill. They lost some really good players. But again, like I think I said this on Sports Talk, regardless of what happens tonight, at the end of October, they're going to be close to 10 wins because, and even they aren't, everybody has a bad year, but I don't think this is this is not a head scratcher. I mean, it was, you go to Burns, they just built a new stadium, there's 10,000 people, which is amazing to me because I have not been to a high school football game with 10,000 people in probably 20 years.
Yeah.
But Burns will fill it out. And if they're good, there'll be some people there.
Well, it's a gorgeous-looking stadium. Cole Bryson, the voice of Burns, had some video on X, on Twitter, and it's a gorgeous-looking stadium. Let's see. Just heard from Mark Wofford over at Chesney High School, and Chesney beat Pendleton 35-21. So thank you for that update. We appreciate it. If you've been to a ball game, you haven't heard the score, you can text us the score, quickest way to get to us, and that number is very simple, 803-900-4847, 803-900-4847. We got to jump to more reporters tonight out in the fields, and Justin Mathis, the story on that Dorman win over Greenville High tonight, and it was a slobber knocker for the Cavaliers over the Red Raiders tonight. Justin.
Yes, sir, Bill. It was a great game for the Cavaliers to start the year. Brought in a new offensive coordinator, Jason Farmer, who's no stranger to the Spartanburg County. Brought back longtime offensive line coach Michael Lancaster into the fold. First of all, the Cavalier defense was as stingy as you could hope for. They forced 6 Red Raider turnovers tonight, which really set the tone. But also, you got to look at the Cavalier ground game, which begins with Nick Means, the junior. He went off tonight, had over 150 yards on the ground. And I don't have the final numbers in front of me, but he ripped off 3 touchdown runs, including a 60-yarder on the second to last play from scrimmage to close out the first half. And that young man is so much fun to watch. But all in all, a great night. The Dorman offensive line is getting great push up front, controlling the line of scrimmage. Contavion Anderson also scored a rushing touchdown. The Clemson commit also does a lot for the Cavaliers on defense. But all in all, a great night for Dorman to start 2025. The complete opposite of this game 1 year ago, where it came down to the wire and Dorman had to rally. But a dominant performance to start off the year for the Cavaliers.
It's got to make them feel really good. What's the quarterback situation looking like at Dorman? Somebody had to play really well there tonight.
Meek Slidell, he transferred in earlier this year. He's a 3-year starter out of Asheville High School. Young man, he did a great job commanding the offense tonight. Made a beautiful throw on the first drive for the Cavaliers, a throw that set up the first points of the game, which was a Ransom-Farr field goal from about 30 yards out. But that young man, he's got quite an arm on him, and it's exciting to see what could happen with the passing game this year. That's something that Dorman struggled with last year, was being able to attack teams through the air. So that young man, he can also move it with his legs too if he needs to.
Well, great win, great way for Dorman to start the season. Tough loss for Greenville High, but they'll bounce back. A lot of football to be played. Justin, thank you so much. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Dorman will host Catawba Ridge next Friday night.
Ooh, that should be a good one. Thank you, Justin. Justin, part of the broadcast on WQUL up in Woodruff that carries the Dorman Football Network. Bob Corlew, our man up there at Woodruff. Appreciate him very much. Oh, I want to mention a shout-out to my man Mustin Kapasi. Mustin Kapasi Glass Company in Spartanburg, South Carolina's #1 glass company for all your glass needs. I mention that because Mustin is helping the folks there at WQUL carry the high school scoreboard. He also supports Dorman High School football in a big way, Dorman High School athletics. So thank you, Mustin Kapasi, for all you do up in Spartanburg for your teams and for helping WQUL and helping us with the high school scoreboard. Much appreciated. David, how many quarterbacks would you guess around the state? I don't know the answer, but how many quarterbacks would you guess transferred this year to another team and are now starting for that new team? What would be your guess off the top of your head?
Oh, boy, I would guess 18 to 20.
Okay. That's a low number. I would have thought it might have been more.
You said just quarterbacks, though, right?
Yeah, just quarterbacks.
I mean, yeah, I don't – I'd have to run through in my head, but, yeah, I would say 18 to 20. I think there were probably statewide more than 200 transfers. I know in the Low Country there had to be 100 at least. There were a lot. But you know, that's probably, yeah, I would guess 18 to 20, but it could be more. I mean, I again, I could go and research that, but but that if you're a quarterback and you transfer, you better be the starter. Or you need to be spanked and disciplined for leaving where you were at. So
yeah,
just about every quarterback that transfers is the starter where they went.
And that's why they moved, because they wanted to be the starter, by and large.
I guess so, or maybe they were starting where they were, and they wanted to chase a ring. You know, maybe they weren't in a great program. They wasn't going to challenge for a ring. And I mean, a lot of this is ring chasing. There's no question about it. You go into a school because you think they have a chance to win a state championship. But again, you want to play. And I could not think, I was just trying to run through my head, I could not think of a quarterback that transferred that is not starting where he ended up. I'd have to, again, that's something I'd have to go back and research.
Yeah, okay. Give you a few more finals that are coming in to us here. We got Saluda defeating Crescent tonight. Final score there was 28-6. So Saluda wins that one 28-6. Travelers Rest over Wade Hampton 13-10. And it was, I'm trying to pick out some of the new ones that have come in here. Fountain Inn 48, Liberty 14. Also, another final that is new to us, I believe. I put my eyes on it here. Easley 56, Pickens 34. Not much defense, a lot of offense. Easley 56, Pickens 34. And Chesney beat Pendleton 35-21. His final score there. And Greenwood Christian over Calhoun Falls 46-20. Now, one of the big ones tonight, that Woodruff and Clinton game. Woodruff wins it 21-13. And, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Monty Dutton to the high school football scoreboard with the report on that one, as Clinton takes it on the chin in a very good game against Woodruff. Monty, great to have you back with us. Hope you're doing well.
I'm well, other than the Red Devils falling. I'm doing pretty well. But this was just one game. By the way, this game was pretty similar to the game last year. Woodruff won 40-36. It was much more offensive, but just like last year, Woodruff took the lead early. They led 15-0. And Clinton just made too many mistakes because Clinton, as you might expect, Clinton had the edge in rushing. Woodruff had the edge in passing, but Clinton had 300 total yards. Woodruff's 227. But the Red Devils were hurt badly by penalties. There was only one turnover. That was an interception, but Clinton had Zai Butler led the Red Devils with 104 yards rushing. Woodruff's Connor Davis was 8 of 14 for 123 yards, but Clinton had 87 yards in penalties, and Woodruff is too good a team to constantly overcome those holding penalties that hurt Clinton all along. But it was, last year, it was the closest game Clinton played all year. They lost by 4. And after the Woodruff game, they played a pretty slow first quarter the next week against Lawrence. But Clinton pretty much hit the ground running and compiled leads in the first half the rest of the season. So I guess for a hopeful sign for the Red Devils, if they can eliminate mistakes, the formula is still in place. They have a new quarterback in junior. Tashawn Richardson's at Newberry College now, and he was a pretty magical presence. But the new quarterback, Owen Glenn, is competent and did a good job. So I think Clinton will have another good team. But Clinton's was ranked number 1 in 2A, and Woodruff's number 3 in 3A. So I guess the game lived up to expectations. And, Clinton has played its first 3 opponents this year, Woodruff, Lawrence, and Newberry, something like 211 times over the years. And, they're all within 25 miles, and it's a good way to start the season. And it's a good way for Class 2A Clinton to play nothing but larger schools before they get into the region. So I think the Red Devils are primed for another good year, but a lot will depend on how healthy they can stay. They have a couple of guys who are out tonight who will be back next week, but the health of the Red Devils will go a long way in determining whether they can march to another 2A championship.
Monty, as always, we appreciate it. How are you feeling? I know you had a little off-season checkup, so to speak, on the old body. Everything percolating okay?
Yeah, I had an extended checkup. I was in the hospital for a month, but that was way back in January, and I probably I tire a little bit easier, but part of that's just getting old. But I'm doing okay.
You sound good, and we thank you. We'll see you next week at the Furman, and talk to you next week on the scoreboard. Thank you very much.
As always, much obliged, Phil.
Thank you, Monty. Monty Dutton. They don't make them like Monty anymore, David.
Did he say he cries a little easier?
I think he said that, yeah.
Yeah, he cries. I can relate to that. I cry all the time.
I cry when the Yankees lose, which is pretty regularly here of late, especially to the Red Sox. Okay, we'll be right back after the break.
Looking to make life simpler and save money? Make a smart move. Transfer your high-interest balances to a Founders credit card and take advantage of our balance transfer rate as low as 2.99% APR. That's right, as low as 2.99% with no balance transfer fees. That means more breathing room for what matters, like taking that long-awaited vacation or finally getting ahead. Whether you're catching up or simply just want to relax, we're here to help you save more. So, what are you waiting for? Take advantage of this limited time offer through September the 30th. Apply now and enjoy peace of mind knowing you've made a smart move that works for your wallet and for you. Visit foundersfcu.com or stop by a local office today. Promotional rate expires 6 months from the date of the transaction. Then effective APR of 13.25% to 17.9% will apply. For more details, visit foundersfcu.com/cc. Membership qualification required.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller-Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina, like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
We are back, High School Football Scoreboard, here on the Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Ridgeview with a big win tonight. Let me make sure I got that right. Did I get that right? Yeah, Ridgeview with a big win tonight over Fairfield Central, 40-0. Final score in that one. And let's see if there's anything else new here from the Midlands. Catawba Ridge beat Chapin 30-0. I think we had that. Lexington 23-7 over Gilbert, and Keenan beat Dreer in a good one, 30-22. Keenan defeats Dreer tonight. See, we'll talk with David about this coming up. Let's go to Richard Sally, who has been hanging on there for us. We appreciate that, Richard, with a story on Orangeburg Prep and Wilson Hall tonight. Big Skeeza rivalry game here early in the year. What you got?
Well, Phil, it was all Wilson Hall tonight, the 3A championship game team that has played in that championship game the past 2 years were just too much for the Indians tonight. I think we got 5 returning all-region players, most notably Ben McLaurin and Milling Galloway, 2 really good running backs. Coach Adam Directly's been there for 11 years, and they run that wing T offense, and Orangeburg Prep defense did not have an answer. So Wilson Hall comes away with a 42-14 victory over the Indians.
Well, that's an impressive start for Wilson Hall, and sounds like they are, I mean, it's early. Sounds like they might have the makings of another championship team.
Right. They've got a quarterback, Ford Wilder, who I think played some quarterback, but mostly wide receiver last year, like 6'4", 200-pounder. He's pretty solid right there. So their whole backfield is pretty impressive. I think they had 6 possessions in the first half, scored 5 touchdowns. I don't think we saw their punter all night. So it was a pretty impressive first game for the Wilson Hall Barons.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Richard. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
All righty. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. You too. Thank you very much. A couple more finals being texted in to us. We thank you, those who are texting us with these scores. North Augusta beat Thompson of Georgia. This is an impressive win, David. North Augusta, which was very good last year, defeating Thompson of Georgia 33-7.
I don't know much about Thompson, but I know North Augusta's got a pretty good program, and they're going to be in the conversation come November.
Yeah, that falls under the SCRA category. Kingstree edges Georgetown. Kingstree edges Georgetown tonight. Final score there of 24-23. Now we still have them in the PD Grand Strand area. All right, David, don't go anywhere. No, you won't. And we'll be back with more High School Scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
This is Fran Halloran, the Money Coach. Grow with the Point as we build on 10 incredible years of community local radio. We built an environment where our listeners are our family. Are you a small business with big dreams? Join the tremendous stable of advertising partners at The Point. Connect with Kevin Cohen and brainstorm a tailored strategy to escalate your business growth using the powerful platform of The Point. Call Kev directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, you can make the next year your best year.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. A jail release order from a Tennessee court requires Kilmar Abrego Garcia to travel directly to Maryland, where he'll be in home detention with his brother as his custodian. Abrego Garcia is required to submit to electronic monitoring and can leave the home only for work, religious services, and other approved activities. The FBI has searched the Maryland home and Washington office of former National Security Advisor John Bolton as part of an investigation into the handling of classified information. He was not detained and has not been charged with any crime. Bolton served as President Trump's third National Security Advisor and clashed with him over Iran, Afghanistan, and North Korea. A tour bus returning to New York City from Niagara Falls with 54 people aboard has crashed and rolled Friday on an interstate highway, killing 5 and injuring many others. The bus apparently lost control on Interstate 90 near Pembroke, about 25 miles east of Buffalo. This is SRN News.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
2,400 customers without power in South Carolina.
Newberry, Michigan expected to be without power for 24 hours.
Over 25,000 people without power in Cleveland, Ohio.
These are real headlines from just the last few days. Power outages are happening more often and they're getting worse. If you don't have a backup generator, it's time to get one. But gas generators, they're loud, smelly, and produce dangerous carbon monoxide. The Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator from My Patriot Supply is different. It's whisper quiet, requires no fuel, and it's safe to use indoors. Best of all, My Patriot Supply is offering an incredible deal for listeners of this station. When you go to mypatriotsupply.com and order a Grid Doctor 3300, they'll include a free expansion battery that doubles your backup power at no additional cost. Go to mypatriotsupply.com now and get prepared. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
All right, we are back here on the high school football scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Give you some more final scores. Timberland over Lee Central, 20-12. East Clarendon down Scotts Branch, 39-0. It was Marlboro County over Lake Marion, 56-6. Also, tonight, other final scores. It's Woodland. Nope, sorry, don't have that score. I'm looking. I saw a couple of others. Oh, St. Joseph's beat Cardinal Newman, 41-29. Eau Claire over Ridgeland, 14-0. And Keenan beat Dreer, 30-22. May River over Airport, 37-8. Lugoff Elgin down Lower Richland, 28-14. All righty, let's go back to outstanding reporters out in the fields tonight, where it's been a little wet in some areas, dry in others, to Garrett Mitchell with the Woodruff side of things on that Woodruff win tonight over Clinton. Garrett, great to have you back with us for another season of high school football and a really good win for the Wolverines tonight.
Absolutely, Phil. I tell you what, you are a very popular man. I finally made it through on my 52nd attempt, and that is the actual number.
Well,
but no,
we appreciate you sticking to it. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm never going to leave you guys hanging, but no, you're absolutely right, and I'm not sure there's too much I can add that Monty didn't already talk about. He does a great job as well, but it was very atypical of a Woodruff Clinton game from the last 5-6 years or so. It was a defensive slugfest, and I even spoke to a few Clinton folks. I said, this must have been what it was like back in the 70s and the 80s when it was Keith Richardson and, of course, Willie Varner. But just a great job by the Woodruff defense. I think we knew coming into this year with 9 starters back on defense that it was going to be a really good unit. And Clinton got their first down with 4 minutes to play in the first half. And so it was just a really great defensive effort. Woodruff breaking in a new quarterback in Connor Davis, 4 new starters on the offensive line. And so I think we kind of expected the offense to come out a little sluggish. They're still trying to get into a rhythm that scrimmages just can't simulate. But, great job by Connor Davis. He managed the game, a long touchdown pass to Aiden Gibson, our great running back. He had a 25-yard quarterback run for a touchdown. And Jalen Lyles, a junior running back, his first varsity action, he scored what turned out to be the clinching touchdown with about 30 seconds to play in the third quarter. But just a fantastic job by both teams, Phil. Clinton, Woodruff, expect both of these teams to go very deep. Would not surprise me one bit if the Red Devils did not repeat in 2A. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Tell me more about Aiden Gibson, because obviously he's a big-time recruit. What do you like about him? What did you see from him tonight?
I'll tell you what, the kid is just so hard to bring down, and credit to the Clinton defense. They did a really good job on him in the run game. He started to break loose a little bit late. They held him in check pretty well in the first half. Had some pretty good runs in the third and fourth quarters, a couple that were of the 25, 30-yard variety, even called back on holding. But he had 2 long catches. He probably had about 4 receptions for close to 100 yards, one of those being a 48-yard touchdown pass. And it's an illustration of how multifaceted he is. He's as good as a receiver as he is a running back, and I think that's why a lot of SEC and ACC schools are on him. And I think he's looking really hard right now. 2 of his favorites, if I had to speak on it, would probably be Tennessee and South Carolina are very high on his list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, and a kid with great size, right? He's a kid that likes to run over you and not go out of bounds from what he's told us.
He's a very big running back. He's 6'2", 205 pounds. That also runs a 4.6 40. So not only is he big, he can run over you, but he's just as comfortable getting outside, and he can run by you too. So, we're glad he's just a junior. So he's got this year and next year too. So
that's right. Okay, Garrett, thank you, man. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
That sounds good. We're back at home next Friday against the Fountain Inn Fury. It should be another great game. Great quarterback for them and Sam Holliday. And so we're looking forward to that, and hopefully Wolverines can go 2-0, but we expect another battle.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Let's go to our man Travis Jenkins with the Great Falls at North Central score tonight. This falls, let me double check here, Travis, this falls under my category of Football City and I-77 corridor. Yes, it does. What's the story there with North Central getting that 26-0 win?
Well, the first story is that much as I love you fellas, after about attempt 51, I would have stopped. Good on you, Garrett. Yeah, so year two, obviously, for Savell Newton at Great Falls. Measurable progress, I would say. This game last year was 47-0 with a running clock. Tonight it was 14-0 into the fourth quarter. North Central scored twice kind of early. Braden Price, their quarterback, really athletic kid, threw a couple of touchdowns, did end up running for one, had a knack for making plays on third down, but a very young Great Falls team, especially on defense, really stuck their nose in there, and they really kept this game close for a long time. Jaden Howell had several plays in the backfield. Jackson Brantley had a big pickoff. The defense forced 3 turnovers. Offense just couldn't get much going. North Central had an enormous size advantage up front. Chester County might want to look at what Kershaw's doing with the school lunch program or something, because the size differential was substantial, and that did make a difference. But Great Falls had 2 drives inside the North Central 10, turned it over on downs, I think, at the 6, threw a pick at about the 4, blocked the field goal, had an opportunity to run it back. I think a young player, and they have a lot of those, just jumped on the ball instead of scooping it up and running with it. He had a clear lane, about 80 yards for a touchdown if he had done that. But so some little things and some penalties, but I would say measurable progress from year 1 to year 2. And I think Great Falls next week will have Chesterfield. Not sure about North Central though.
All right. So Savell Newton up there, year 2 with Great Falls. I mean, that's how many players does he have to work with, and do they seem to be buying into what he's trying to teach them?
I would definitely say they're buying in. I think they dressed 25 or 26 tonight and had a couple of guys out. So they've got about 30, which that's a step up from last year a bit. And again, you're talking about a very small 1A, so that represents probably a good chunk of the male student body. I would also say he's extremely excited about the middle school team. I think they went 7-1 last year. I know they beat Louisville, which they were really excited about. And a couple of those kids have made their way up, but he's got the middle school offensive line is bigger than the offensive and defensive line that he has on the varsity team right now. They go about 270 a man at the middle school. So help's on the way. He says he's really dedicated to this and wants to stick with them because he badly wants to turn this program around. And I would say, some signs tonight. I mean, it's a 26-0 loss, 20-0 late. They ran a pick back with a minute left. So it was a 20-0 game late into the contest. So, I would definitely say they've taken a step forward with a really young bunch.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch and see how he does. Travis, as always, pleasure is all ours. Thank you for being with us. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you. David, of all the coaches in South Carolina in their particular locations, I would have never thought that Savell Newton would end up as a head football coach. Well, I thought he might end up as a head football coach, but not in Great Falls. It just doesn't, on the outside, it just doesn't seem to fit. But, I mean, obviously it's a challenge that he wants to take on as a young coach to see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start somewhere. And my God, if he can turn Great Falls into a winning program, then he can definitely move on to another situation if he ever wants that. Funny story, at the coaches clinic this summer, Billy Baker and I were waiting on the elevator at the hotel, and this guy walked up and he said, "How y'all doing?" And we said, "Good." And he goes, "Y'all going up?" And we said, "Yeah, we're going up." And Billy Baker, he'll talk to anybody. And he's like, "So, where are you the coach at?" Huh. And he said, "I'm the coach of Great Falls." He goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, Savell held out his hand and said, "Savell Newton, how are you?" And Billy's eyes Billy went cross-eyed. He was like, "Where do I know that? Savell Newton?" And it was funny. Even Savell laughed. He was like, "Yeah, Mr. Baker, you used to write about me." And he was like, "Oh, my God, you're a head football coach?" And it was just funny because, and the same thing happened later. Jake Bentley came by our booth and was filling out a football form, and Billy didn't recognize him. And Billy said, "I bet you were a quarterback." And I started laughing, and he goes, "Yes, sir, I was." He goes, "Where'd you go to high school?" He said, "I went to school in Alabama, but then I played at South Carolina." He goes, "South Carolina?" And I said, "Billy, look at him." And he looked at him, and he goes, I have no. I said, "That's Jake Bentley." "Oh my God, that's Jake Bentley." So I mean, it's Billy always knows somebody. He just don't ever know their name.
You know, that's what happens when you reach a certain age. You know, I can't testify that, but that is what happens to you. I had a similar occurrence a couple of weeks ago. Walked into a car dealership in Columbia, and a young man comes out, big guy, and I wasn't there for shopping for a car. It was for a part. And anyway, I said, "You know, man, you had to play some ball somewhere." He said, "Yeah, I did." I said, "Where'd you play?" He said, "South Carolina." And I said, "What's your name?" He said, "Ricardo Hurley." I said, "Oh, my gosh." I said, "Ricardo Hurley, I can't tell you how many times you and I talked when you were in Greenwood High School. I mean, you were a stud back in the day." And he still looks stud-like. He still looks a little bigger than he was back then. But you remember Ricardo Hurley and what a high school prospect he was.
He was a tremendous physical player. He would just as soon hit you late than, and then not help you up. He was very physical. But Savell, I mean, looking at Savell that day, he looked like he could still play. He still looked like he's in great shape. And obviously Jake is in good shape. He could still play. He hadn't been out of football that long, but they had a lead tonight at Nation Forward and ended up losing to Blackwood late. He almost got his first win.
34-27. In fact, we're going to hit the break. When we come back, David, we're going to go through the state and go through all the scores and let you give your regional thoughts as we check in on the Upstate, Football City 77 Corridor, Midlands, SCRA, the PD Grand Strand, not a whole lot in the Low Country, and SCISA finals. So we'll let David comment region by region when we come back. We'll try to get some more finals in if some new ones come in, and any other late reports. We'll be right back here on the scoreboard.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at experiencecolumbiasc.com.
Looking to make life simpler and save money? Make the smart move. Transfer your high interest balances to a Founders credit card and take advantage of our balance transfer rate as low as 2.99% APR. That's right, as low as 2.99% with no balance transfer fees. That means more breathing room for what matters, like taking that long awaited vacation or finally getting ahead. Whether you're catching up or simply just want to relax, we're here to help you save more. So, what are you waiting for? Take advantage of this limited time offer through September the 30th. Apply now and enjoy peace of mind knowing you've made a smart move that works for your wallet and for you. Visit foundersfcu.com or stop by a local office today. Promotional rate expires 6 months from the date of the transaction. Then effective APR of 13.25% to 17.9% will apply. For more details, visit foundersfcu.com/cc. Membership qualification required.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
What does the 50th anniversary of Title IX mean?
It means I'm valued, I'm empowered, I can do anything. It means I'll pave the way for every girl who plays high school sports in the future, just like every female student, coach, official, and administrator blazed the trail for me. Because every student deserves the opportunity to play. Encourage girls you know to participate in South Carolina high school sports.
This message presented by the SCHSL and the South Carolina Athletic Administrators Association.
Okay, we're back. I just love to hum along with the fight songs. I love a good fight song. David, don't you like a good fight song? I like a good fight song. I like a good fight. I like a good fight song.
Oh, yeah. I love fight songs.
Gets my juices flowing when I hear a good fight song. Okay, we've got Aiken beating Aner tonight, 27-7. And Silver Bluff over South Aiken, 34-31. Trying to get that Strom-Thurmond score. Have not gotten that Strom-Thurmond score in. However, let's go down to the, I call it the Low Country, the Beaufort-Hilton Head area, but we include it in the Low Country. We welcome back into the scoreboard show this year from Loco Sports, Max Araj, to fill us in on some of the top games from around his part of the state tonight. Max, it's great to have you back with us. How are you?
It's great to be back. I'm doing good. Busy off season, but I'm glad that football season's back.
Absolutely. What were some of the top results down your way tonight?
We had quite a few games. Some were postponed, moved to Monday, but for the games that were played tonight, Bluffton Bobcats, a team to really keep an eye on in that 4A division, took on Whale Branch tonight, a rebuilding Whale Branch program. Bluffton will take that win with ease, 49-0, and Bluffton will look to continue that next Friday, those winning ways. Keep an eye on Carnell Warren, Aiden McCarthy, and the transfer from Beaufort High School, Amari Patterson. That trio of receivers and quarterbacks is going to be one to really keep an eye on. That's one of the strongest looking duos in the Loco Sports area this coming season between Amari Patterson and that North Carolina commit Carnell Warren. Hilton Head High School took on Stahl. You got to feel for Stahl. Rough program they've been going through it the last few years. Hilton Head will take the win 59-12 on their home turf over Stahl. Skeeza and South Carolina High School League crossover matchup. Hilton Head Christian Academy took on Battery Creek at home tonight. Hilton Head Christian Academy would get the win 36-14 over the Dolphins of Battery Creek. In the 1A division of South Carolina High School League, Hardyville took on Bethune-Bowman tonight, and Hardyville would get the dub to start out 1-0 with a 43-32 win over Bethune-Bowman. Ridgeland would take on Eau Claire High School on the road. Eau Claire would win that game 14-0. Lawrence Manning Academy took on John Paul II, and Lawrence took that one all the way, 37-0 over the JP2 Warriors, who came off a win last week over Colleton Prep. Colleton Prep, speaking of which, seemed to be really angry tonight after their loss from last Friday. They took on St. John's Christian over in Monk's Corner. Colleton Prep would get that win 66-24. Beaufort Academy, keep an eye on that Beaufort Academy team. They look like state championship contenders in the Skeeza 1A division this year. They took on Carolina Academy, a rematch of last year's first round of the playoffs. Beaufort Academy would get the win 41-28 over Carolina Academy. And then the final score from tonight in the 8-man division, Jefferson Davis took on Cross Schools, and Jefferson Davis would get the win 52-6. Now the games that were postponed, Thomas Hayward was supposed to play Bethesda Academy tonight. That has been postponed. We do not know when that game will be played yet. We presume it will be Monday, but we have not gotten a word on that. Now the other three games, that were postponed tonight. Fort Dorchester was supposed to be at Beaufort. That game has been moved to Monday. Hampton County against Calden County on the road. That has also been moved to Monday. And then Academic Magnet will be taking on Patrick Henry as well on Monday. And as far as we know, those 3 games will start at around 6:30 on Monday.
Fantastic. Max, we thank you so much. It's great hearing from you, and we'll talk to you next week. We appreciate it. Remind everybody to check out your website and your streams, and what's the best place to go to find all that stuff?
Yeah, so we have our own website, locosports.com. You can find out all the articles that we write up for the Loco Sports area regarding football and all other sports. Then you can check us out on YouTube and social media, Instagram and Facebook. Every weekday night on the Loco Sports Lowdown, and then on Thursday night the Loco Pigskin Preview, and then on Friday we have our Loco Pigskin Live. We'll be out live on the football fields, giving you up-to-date scores every Friday night, and we should definitely be doing that on Monday as well. I think all of us will be at one of those 3 games that has been scheduled for Monday, so you can check us out there. And that's pretty much the story written on that one, Phil.
You got it. Thank you very much, Max. Talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Talk to you next week.
Thank you. Appreciate you very much. Okay, let's take a look at these scores very quickly. Once again, in the upstate, run through as many of these as we can. Belton Honeypath 49, Broome 9, Burns 30, T.L. Hanna 10, Greenwood Christian 46, Calhoun Falls 20, Daniel 43, Chapman nothing, Chesney 36, Pendleton 21, Hammond 17, Christchurch nothing, Easley 56, Pickens 34, Eastside 51, and Southside nothing, Emerald 28, 96 nothing, Independence 27, Gaffney 21, Dorman 35, Greenville nothing, Boiling Springs over Greer 23-18. Hillcrest 56, Lawrence 17. Midland Valley, J.L. Mann postponed. Fountain Inn 48, Liberty 14. Wren 42, Palmetto nothing. Seneca 56, Powdersville 35. Riverside 41, Malden 27. Abbeville 42, Southside Christian nothing. Northwestern 39, Spartanburg 7. St. Joseph's 41, Cardinal Newman 29. American Leadership 43, Thornwell 6. Newberry 62, Union County 14. Travelers Rest 13, Wade Hampton 10. Landrum 20, Walhalla 13. Ware Shoals 44, Blacksburg 6. Whitmire 26, Branchville 6. Woodruff 21, Clinton 13. West Oak 28, Greenville Hurricanes nothing. Saluda 28, Crescent 6. In the Football City I-77 corridor, Central 52, Louisville nothing. Fort Mill 52, Ballantine Ridge of North Carolina 6. North Central 26, Great Falls nothing. Chester 16, Lancaster 14. Blythewood 34, Nation Ford 27. Rock Hill 31, River Bluff 18. Saluda 28, Crescent 6. Huff of North Carolina 14, South Point 10. Indian Land 36, York 6. And Chambers of North Carolina 35, Clover 34. Okay, all the scores will be up on our website in just a little bit. David, final thoughts from you.
I'm glad we made it through week 0. you know, since my heart attack, I'm way past my bedtime right now. I just want you to know that.
Okay. Well, you know what? You'll probably sleep like a baby as a result, but we thank you. It's great to have you with us. You have a great weekend. Thank you, Plummer, Josh Cohen. Thanks to all the reporters, the coaches, the players, everybody involved. See you next week.